Hello, people of Earth. I wanted to give you a little bit of a warning before you listen to today's episode because the plot of this episode's film, The Happening, revolves around people dying by suicide. And as such, that topic does come up frequently throughout the episode. So if that's triggering for you, I wanted to give you an opportunity to stop and go listen to something else, maybe a Matinee Monday, maybe a whole different podcast. Unspooled's got some really fun episodes lately. Anyway, this is your trigger warning. And if you're one of those people who's mad that you're getting a trigger warning, then do I have to do a trigger warning for you about trigger warnings? Anyway, I hope you listen. I hope you enjoy. And if you don't, I get that too.
What? No. We saw The Happening, so you know what that means.
Schwarzenegger grew a baby in his belly, like a rhinestone vest while whipping Justin to Kelly. Or maybe see a burlesque show with Dick Crow and take up over speed to hitting cruise control. J-Man, Big Paul, and the beautiful June. Gonna take you from the groove all the way to the room. Rain the games of Street Fighter, help to blow off steam. Just a sucker punch the odd life of Timothy Green. Shot in the middle of Birdemic, how you staying alive? They call me the badass and he's on the line. Cranking 88 minutes cause they cool as ice. Cause the bad Jim Varney looking kinda nice. Calling June getting literal, Jason is getting laid. June is making sure all the monkey shots getting paid. They're just a bunch of movies while they're making the grade. Here's a real question for you, how did this get made?
Hello, people of Los Angeles! And hello, people of Largo! We are live here in Los Angeles for a movie that defies expectations. M. Night's The Happening. What is it about? If you've not seen it, it's a movie where wind and trees team up as the most powerful enemy on the planet, but only attack a very small section, like the northeastern seaboard. They're just not Ohio. We won't go to Ohio, but we'll just kind of stay in this area. Yes, so it is a movie where the trees are out to get us. Our heroes outrun wind. And what better hero than Mark Wahlberg? Mark Wahlberg stars. He's married to Zooey Deschanel. And everybody they meet up with eventually has a gruesome death. That's all you really need to know. Oh, and this other fact, nothing makes sense. Every choice is flawed. The hero is not a hero. But besides that, the movie is perfect. Now, to help break down this film tonight, please welcome my co-host, Mr. Jason Mantzoukas.
What's up, jerks? That's right, Largo. Let's go. Let's go. This movie stopped playing. Boy, did I not like this. This movie stopped playing, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't think so. I think there's at least got to be 30 more minutes to this.
You wanted more?
You wanted more. Clear, I didn't want more, but this movie, this seemed to me to have the snowman problem. Like, I believe that they maybe didn't shoot 15% of the script. Because and in which everything gets explained, because this was, what if a zombie movie, but you're right, the zombies are just the wind.
Yes.
And what if all of the exposition dumps are just conjecture from a high school science teacher played by Mark Wahlberg? I'm sorry, I need my kid out of that class immediately. I need my kid to have a new teacher. Immediately, my fictitious child.
I think the movie is so pleased with itself that they're like, they set up this thing. Oh, why are the bees dying? We don't know. And then the movie goes, what if that was our explanation too?
Well, and we never get an actual explanation because every time he has an exposition dump, a new person joins, he's like, you know what? I don't know. It could be What about, I remember I read this article about this guy doing this thing, and who knows, it could be that. I don't know, to the two teenagers he's with.
Oh, wait a second. Ladies and gentlemen, June, Diane, Raphael. Welcome, June.
I had to say something.
I knew we were getting too deep. I knew it.
You were taking way too long. I have so much to say about...
But I also have nothing to say
and
well.
very little. The wildest part to me is that the actual... Oh, Paul.
It's an audio podcast. No one sees this. No one sees me picking up my Tillamook cheese.
What is that?
Well,
do you have a bunch of scratcher tickets?
Tonight, this audience will be walking home with Tillamook.
What?
Cheese products.
What? No.
We got these, and they're like, they sent these to How Did This Get Made?
Wow,
free
Jason
one.
and I never even knew they arrived.
Yeah.
You want one?
Yeah, I do. I do love this cheese.
What?
I like it too.
This is good cheese.
What? No.
But yeah, it's great
What
cheese.
do you mean?
The sharp cheddar, the sharp, the sharp.
We're
and
not a
extra,
cheese podcast.
the sharp.
Well,
I'm not,
you know what?
listen,
I'm glad we're not a cheese podcast because they also have great ice cream.
I was not.
This is a non-dairy podcast.
I wasn't paid to say that, but it's a great company.
What?
The cheese is great. The cheese is great. Let me just say this, though. The craziest thing is that Mark Wahlberg, our hero, is not even the person who figures it out.
Oh, no.
A random man who has a greenhouse figures the entire thing out.
I also don't
Yes,
like
he
that.
does.
Is that the actual...
Well, no, yes, he figures that it's the plants and the trees. It's the plants that are killing us, and they're releasing a toxin because they have figured out how to kind of weaponize and attack.
Plants
Now,
strike back.
The plants strike back. And what we find out at the very end, at the tail end, from the Carnegie Mellon professor...
Oh, it's a prelude. It's a prelude.
Is that this is the environment's way of attacking us?
So it's climate change.
No.
Yeah, 1000%.
No. It's not climate change. It is an act of violence perpetrated. Like, this is not like, oh, the plants are reacting. They make it seem like the plants are fucking mad.
Well,
like, the
they must
plants
be.
have, like, authority.
Sentience.
Yes,
Like and the
sentience.
plants are like, kill yourself.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
if you get too close to the wind is like,
Now,
kill yourself.
But this is.
I did-
But here's. This
I
is
did
like,
think that was advanced for the plants.
I will
That
say
was
this.
advanced.
and not
I-
kill someone else.
Yourself.
Just yourself.
Yourself. Any way you can.
Yes.
What I don't like about this movie in general is
Everything?
yes, and that it happens in so many different ways. If it was just like, oh, these plants are giving off some sort of toxin, I buy it. But the way it starts and the way it kind of continues, it's like people are killing themselves and weird. Some people are just like straight up murder-suiciding themselves, right? Other people are just, jumping off a building. But like, it seems to be like some people really go creative. Like I'm like, wow. Like,
Let's
so
be
you got.
honest. If this movie was real, a
Yeah.
real depiction of what this happened, the minute this started happening, it would just be every 10 seconds a gunshot.
Yes.
In this country, just gunshot,
Absolutely.
gunshot, gunshot,
Absolutely.
gunshot. That's it.
Well, they have that section in there, which is the most unnerving section.
Yeah.
It's like, bang,
Very
bang. And then
upsetting.
and that banging is going on, and they try to explain the dumbest premise of the movie. Oh, it's attacking big groups, but it won't attack small groups.
Or how about this?
Why?
Why?
You're in
Why?
a fucking open air field.
I don't even think is that even true?
That's what I'm
I don't
saying.
think so. That's conjecture again from Mark Wahlberg.
I think
I don't
that
trust
was,
a goddamn thing he said.
I think that was true for a time before the plants started mutating. I don't know.
We
But
never
the
know.
craziest thing, the craziest sequence is right there when those gunshots are happening, and then Zooey Deschanel, for reasons I could not understand,
Yep.
is like, we can't be innocent bystanders.
Yes.
We can't just walk. I was like,
We can't just be one of those
Sweetie,
people that walk.
Yeah, we're
watch.
not assholes.
that stand by us.
I was like,
of course you are. Run.
Get out of here.
You should be running right now.
You have a child to protect who's lost both of her parents
This
in the
is
last
look
5
of
minutes.
Every shot.
Get out of there.
Every shot, every character looks like this. And this is them, I believe, looking at the script off screen. Wait,
I truly believe, like,
in this sequence, though, in this very sequence, they're running away from the plants, and the grass is this high. The grass is this high, and it's
ankle.
waving toward them.
Yeah.
And they're racing away from it. It's
wind. They're
the
racing
funniest
from
thing I've
wind.
ever
Or are
seen.
they racing away
They're
from grass?
outrunning-
Is grass part of this? I don't know.
It's
They-
so
Oh, that's a
compelling
good
in
question.
Jaws.
So you're saying the wind was carrying the toxins?
Yes.
Yeah, the wind was carrying
Yeah.
the spores or whatever from the trees that was, I guess.
I
But
couldn't
nobody
tell.
ever confirms to
I
me.
know, and I couldn't tell if it was the wind carrying the toxins from other cities, or if that grass now had the toxins in it, and so the wind was
I
carrying
kind of
more
feel like
it.
it's COVID, right? The trees cough, and then it goes out in the air, and then you get it. Like, so it's like if you were in front of somebody who has COVID, then you might have a shot of getting it. And that's kind of what this movie.
Why didn't a single person in this movie ever just go like this?
They
Yeah.
never cover up.
Never.
At the end of the movie, the fucking scientist, Mark Wahlberg, is like, I'm coming to get you. They were separated for 2 minutes. He's like, Mom, I'm just going to walk out in the field.
Yeah. Why would they do that? Well,
Why? No reason. They know it's
You can
airborne.
ride this out, I think.
I
I
mean-
don't know, or maybe not, but
Can I just, I want to go, yes, all this doesn't make sense, but really, what really doesn't make sense to me is the opening line, 2 women on a park bench, and the first woman says, as she's reading a book, I forgot where I was. And then the other woman, who's reading another book, says, oh, you're at the part where the people kill each other. She's like, oh, okay, thanks. What?
yeah.
Even for this movie, I wouldn't know where she was. She's reading a book.
That woman then pulls what looks to me like a knitting needle out of her hair that she's using as a hair tie and stabs herself in the jugular. The movie is full, and her friend is just like,
Oh,
the movie seems to feel, I feel like they shot scenes without some of the actors there, so they didn't know what they were reacting to.
well, and that
'Cause
opening,
a lot of times something insane will happen, and someone will be like,
the opening scene, again, with these 2 women on the park bench, who oddly are the only 2 not affected while everyone else is. Why? We don't know.
we never find out the rules of
There's no
the
rules.
thing.
So she goes, oh, that's interesting. I see blood. Then they cut to the reverse. Just people
don't.
in the park, no blood. She's like,
So
oh,
are
they're
they seeing,
killing each
are
other.
they hallucinating?
Is this a dream that these 2 women have had on a park bench?
Because I knew it was an M. Night Shyamalan movie, the whole time I was expecting at the end for there to be a twist that would in fact reveal all of the information I wanted in a way that would infuriate me.
The twist is you paid for this movie.
The twist is there is no twist. Haha, joke's on you. It just is bad.
I mean, look, very rarely on this show do we get into acting, and I don't think it has any issue with the actors, because everyone
Really?
is equally bad. And like, everyone in this movie feels like they're doing an acting exercise where it's like, you're going to talk about peanut butter sandwiches, and you're going to talk about your shoes, and you're going to try to have a conversation together. Like, I like peanut butter sandwiches. My shoes are brown. Isn't it the most tasty thing to have? I wear my shoes every day. It's like, no one is connecting. I literally typed in The Happening movie, and it says, do you want to know why the acting is so bad? That was the first thing that came up.
I do want to know. What
I
did
do.
you click on it?
What'd you find out?
There's a lot of Reddit posts, theories as to why.
Now, did you? Okay, I have so many questions. Why did John Leguizamo? Why did he?
Johnny Legs.
Why did he?
I kept writing Johnny Legs too.
Why did Johnny Legs hate
Thank you.
Zoe Deschanel so
Okay.
much?
Oh, I have a theory.
He hated her, right? A. B, he says and does everything wrong. He says in front of his daughter that her mother is missing, presumed dead, all because she wanted to go get Jess a birthday present. Some dollhouse shit or something. Okay, I gotta go, little one. I was like, is she here? Can she hear all of this?
I also think his plan is flawed, but I want to go back and I want to give you...
Do you think he's Joey?
Yes. Yes.
I will say, I'm not sure, but at the very
that's
beginning...
what I thought.
At the very beginning, he says that...
Is that the twist?
I don't think... I wish. I thought that could be the twist, but then there's a thing which is like... At the very beginning, he's like, I walked in on her getting ready for the wedding, and she was crying, and she didn't want to make... She's not all in, basically, or something like that.
But what did he see? She was crying before the wedding? That could have meant anything.
I know, but the whole movie seems to hinge on... Mark Wahlberg and Zooey Deschanel need the events of this movie to bring them together as a loving couple. I'm here to say they should break up.
Absolutely.
They should break up.
Jason. They should be given a child.
Yeah, no.
2. First of all, this lives in a world in which, if the parent, you could just take a kid. Like, you don't, they're yours now. It's fine. Yeah. Like, they get a kid and then...
Also, like... I don't know. I mean, let people have babies whenever they want to have babies, of course. But of course.
No one's judging that.
They seem to be the legal custodians of Jess. Yes. And she's just lost both of her parents, has seen multiple people die in front of her eyes.
Dozens.
Time to go back to school 3 months later. Forget about that.
But I'm just like, do you all need to have a baby right now? Like, you do have a child. That child is Jess.
Yeah. Oh, well, hey, there's that. There's also like, do you guys need to have a child right now? Like, work on your relationship.
Please.
Like, there is a terrorist attack, a presumed terrorist attack. Hundreds of people are dying in the streets of New York. They are in Penn Station trying to get on that train to get out of town. The trailer makes it look like a bunch of people are on a train and the train stops and it's like, something's happening. But no, a lot of other crazy stuff happens. But regardless... Zooey Deschanel is mad.
Started there.
She's mad that Mark Wahlberg has told Johnny Legs that they had a fight. And she's like, I'm going to go sit by myself. I'm like, an attack is happening as far as you're concerned. She's prioritizing all the wrong stuff.
But also, this is what I was really struggling with which was, yes, they're setting up that they need this really crazy event to happen to come back to each other.
It's better than therapy.
But Paul, it's like, what did she do wrong? She went out for tiramisu. First of all, gross. Like,
oh my God.
Gross. If you're going to have an affair, if you're going to flirt with another guy,
tiramisu?
Like, that's the weirdest thing to do.
Oh yeah, don't go out for tiramisu.
Go out for a drink. Like, have a cocktail. Like, what?
Respect yourself.
Tiramisu.
Truly, it was
Respect
embarrassing.
yourself.
Not for one. It's for 2. 1, 2.
It was
you had
so
tiramisu.
Weird. And
Joey
if I were him, if you told me you went out for tiramisu with a woman,
yes, what would you do?
I would be
record this.
Honestly, to go out. First of all, I find it very strange when people go out just for dessert. That's weird. That's weird.
I completely agree.
I go out for a meal, go out for coffee, go out for a drink. Go out for just dessert.
Adults that are like, let's go to Pinkberry.
Weird. It's weird. It's weird.
Honestly, kill yourself.
Yeah.
Listen to the wind.
Do what it tells you. If you told me you went out for tiramisu with a woman, I would say, I'm so glad you didn't ask me to go.
Yeah.
Well,
Joey calls her when she's on the train sitting alone. Joey's been blowing her up on her Nokia flip phone. Joey's calling her. She takes it and she goes, I feel like you're the Fatal Attraction guy, and I'm going to see your shadow in the shower curtain. Okay. I'm pretty sure she's conflating Fatal Attraction and Psycho into one movie.
Right, and I would argue that Fatal Attraction's most famous thing is the bunny.
Is the bunny and the boiling the bunny. It's not the shower. That's Psycho. So it's two psychotic things. I think she's an absolute idiot in the movie.
All right.
I really wanted the twist to be that somehow she was responsible. She was like, I fucked this guy Joey. He works at a wet market in Wuhan. I don't know what's going on, but the wind is talking to me.
I also feel, and this is again where we get, I think it might be direction. When you first meet Zooey Deschanel, I think she's a great actress. She's fun. She's full of life. The way that they introduce you to her, it's like, oh, something's wrong. Like she hasn't left the house. Like
and
she
says
seems
repeatedly
broken.
that, and to her, she talks about herself, and she says to Jess, "Don't worry, Jess. I don't like to show my emotions either." Boy, that's a tough thing for you to not be emotional in the face of what is unquestionably one of the most shocking and emotional roller coasters of your life.
She's also just doing the strangest things during this time. Like she's playing house with Jess, and that's weird. And I didn't feel like they had a connection. And, you know, horrible things are happening and the wind is getting closer and closer. And she's like, Jess needs to go on the swing.
Oh, yeah.
Take a couple minutes to let her play.
Yeah,
and then
after they know trees are the enemy.
Well, that's
Like,
the thing
she's
is,
literally
and they keep cutting
creating
to the
wind.
branch. They keep cutting to the branch as if they're cutting to the tree, being like, "Don't you do this? Don't you do this?
No, no,
Don't
no.
make me hurt you." Like the trees get reaction shots. Like it's like the trees are the shark. In Jaws, it's like, oh, here comes the fin. It's like, here's this branch. Creak!
My favorite
Creak!
moment in the movie, again, characters say stuff in this movie that no human would ever say. And my favorite line was, just go to the window near the big tree. Like, that's what the mom tells the daughter to do. Like, why would you go to the... Why? Why are you telling me?
Stupid.
Why would you, like, it's such a weird specific.
Nobody talks like they would ever talk like this. When they all pour out of the diner, pour into cars and like peel out like it's wacky races. And like Dick Dastardly and Muttley are gonna be there. That's for the old people. And everybody's taking off and they're not letting them in their car. And she goes, "Why is everybody so crappy?" I was like, really? What? That's what she says right now?
I mean, also, I do love, all right, Mark Wahlberg is called in to a meeting of the teachers at the school, and they go, "There's been a terrorist attack in Central Park." And he goes, "Huh, that's odd." like he doesn't believe it. Like, wow, terrorists wouldn't attack there. It's just full of people.
That's weird. It's like all open space and yeah.
They're just an easy target, soft targets, huh?
How many years after September 11th is this? We got to talk about it.
It's 2008. It's
Because this is
2008.
unquestionably a post-September 11th movie.
Oh, yes.
In a way that is not cool at all.
It is as if people did not live through that. Now, look, they're in Philadelphia. Philadelphia works on its own thing. But I will say this. I'll tell you one thing that people in Philly won't do. If a train stops in Filbert, which he also doesn't believe, where's that?
Yeah.
It's a fucking stop on the train, you idiot. Like,
But
not
I
like,
did love-
It wasn't like you were in a bat cave. It's like, yeah, you're at stop.
But when we were watching the trailer, June and I both said that I love that scene, which is just the conductors. And he's like, "We lost contact." With who? Everyone.
But this is my thing.
Kill yourself.
I've been to Philadelphia many times. I like the people of Philly. You don't think those people are going to be standing silently having a chat outside the train? They'd be like, "Hey, motherfucker, why the fuck are we not going? Let's go Flyers!" Yeah, they would fucking jump on that train and drive it. Everyone's like, huh.
Oh, no. If this was a real train full of
Thank
Philly
you.
residents, they would be eating horse shit off the ground.
Eagles fly!
They would be
Fly,
like,
Eagle!
"We aren't human. The wind doesn't affect us. We're trash." Shit. We're gonna
Wait,
go. Are
the
we
Eagles
going to
aren't
Philly
playing the
anytime
Sun.
soon?
It better not affect the fucking Eagles game. But it is weird. They're so polite.
Why were there so many conductors?
Oh my God.
I think they're all ticket takers. I think they're all ticket takers. That's a.
Even if they're ticket takers, I feel like there were 8 men.
Yes.
They
Too
were
many
8
men. It's also, to me, I'm like, why would you just stop? We lost contact. Well, you know what? Let's stop. Keep on going. Get the fuck out of there.
The movie
Like
also
another train. I don't know.
the movie also has multiple like what are given to us as kind of jump scare moments that as they unfolded in reality would never have been jump scares. One of which is when all the landscapers have hung themselves. They would have seen that half a mile ahead. Oh no, people are hanging from trees up there. But they get all the way to lawnmowers. Whoa! Whoa! The guy that lays down and lets a lawnmower run over him is my favorite part of the movie. Just like,
But this is what I'm talking about. This is like, so the people at the construction site, they just jump off a tall building, right?
Great one.
Great. Awesome.
great. By the way, very effective.
These guys are in
Very
tall trees.
effective.
And these guys in tall trees are like, well, let's make it a little bit more fancy. Let's hang ourselves. Like, there's lawnmowers there. They could all
They
get in a
put
truck.
ladders into the trees.
Yeah, they
Get up there.
climbed up. They could fall off a ladder, break
Did
their
you guys
necks.
not think to me, the movie is a failure in microcosm by not giving us the B-side of the Chekhov's nuclear power plant.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot show me two nuclear
Yeah.
what are
Yes.
tubes? What are they called?
Smokestack.
You got it. You can't show me that and then not at some point have them be like,
Yes.
and look, and mushroom cloud. You're telling me nobody like listened to the trees and was like, boop, boom.
I felt
Absolutely.
the same way. I felt the
Why show us that?
same way about Mark Wahlberg's mood ring. Why are we why
What?
does he take it with him?
Why does he wear it as if
leaves.
it's his wedding ring?
Jason,
He wears
leaves.
it as if it's his wedding
Because
ring.
that's
when
their
he leaves
first date
that
ring.
house, he's so frantic. He's got to get out of town. And one of the first things he grabs is that mood ring.
Oh yeah.
And then he checks in on it a number
Oh,
of
he
times
uses
during the movie.
he uses it to bond with Jess.
Yeah.
He talks about it with Zooey Deschanel.
But it never really amounts to anything.
Yeah, you know why?
what-
Because it's a fucking mood ring.
To
What
me-
does it matter?
No, it's a crass joke, and I won't say it. I'd say if you put that ring on the girl, I was like, hey, purple. That means you're horny. I knew she wasn't going to
Wish
lie.
you
I
hadn't
don't.
said
I
it.
don't like. Leave it in. Leave it in. Leave it. In.
But that mood ring represents, I think, the best part of their marriage. That's the twist, right?
If that's the best part of
Yes,
their marriage,
yes.
like they got to break
They got
up
it. There should
immediately.
not. Johnny Legs is right. They shouldn't be together.
He
Johnny
doesn't
Legs
like
leaves-
her and she doesn't like him.
Yes, they are not well
In
suited
the
for
best
each
of
other.
times, in the worst of times,
Ugh.
like they're terrible for each other.
I just don't also, from a perspective of just a little thing called character, I don't understand like what his flaw is. Like, he's a scientist, not the smartest scientist. He seems to be pretty decisive, but not really a leader. And he doesn't really have any flaws. Like, he's just a guy.
This is
I know,
like
I agree though, because I thought for sure what we were going to come back to was this idea of like he's too focused on the scientific method. He's too focused on like on variables and control groups, and like he's got to think way outside the box. That never happens.
no.
I mean,
no. He's not.
Never
That's not his
happens.
job.
That's not his flaw.
That's
to
not his
me,
job, because-
this scene right here, this is like what any of us would do. Like, a movie would be like, some shit's going down. I have an idea. But he acts like I think all of us would act, which is this.
I don't know. The toxin? The toxin is affecting them?
Are those people killing themselves?
You were with a private. What do we do?
We need to do something!
Just let me think.
They're dying!
I need a second. They released it? We're not near the road.
We can't just stand here as the uninvolved observers!
I need a second, okay? Just give me a second.
We're not gonna be one of those assholes on the news who watches a crime happen and not do something. We're not assholes.
Just a second.
There were children in that room. Elliot, please tell us what to do.
I need a second, okay? Why can't anybody give me a goddamn second? Be scientific, douchebag. Identify the variables. That's the two groups.
I want to point something out because there's going to be a lot of people
observers.
in the industry in this audience, so you'll understand. These were the best takes they had. They had to use these takes. Imagine all the other takes.
I mean, the fact that he's like freaking out and he doesn't solve anything. I mean, he doesn't really solve anything. People are getting shot, and that's the other weird thing about it. We understand that, or at least the way I understand it, trees shoot out toxins. You start walking backwards.
Oh, well, let me ask you this. Can I ask you? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Can I ask you a question, though? Because the movie is constantly sort of giving us clues. In the scene just prior to this, when the woman is on the phone with her daughter who's in... What a terrible movie scene. A movie scene where dozens of people are gathered on one person who's talking to someone on a speakerphone for whom the interesting thing is happening. And she's like, just go get to what you were saying earlier. But then the daughter starts saying, I can see calculus. I can see in calculus. And I was like, this is a clue. This has got to be giving us. Nope, just nonsense.
But that was sign one was they get disoriented. But the movie shows disorientation by walking backwards. I'm disoriented. I'm disoriented. Like, that's not disoriented. Disoriented would be like, oh, huh. It would be more confused. And then the military guy's like, my gun is my gun. I'm like, wait, why don't you just shoot yourself in the head? Other people just immediately just bonk, kill themselves. Like, he's going into full monologue.
He's Jeremy Strong, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm certain M. Night Shyamalan was like, just shoot yourself in the head. He's like, I got something, don't worry. I got something, you're gonna love it.
And
I'm
he
gonna
did.
do it whether you like it or not. Don't tell Brian Cox in 15 years.
And he did. I thought what was happening is like the last thing that they said was what was getting sort of remixed.
That does seem to be the case. But then not. But
And
for
then-
him,
but
not.
then
That's not what he was
sometimes
saying
not.
at that moment. And
Didn't seem like it.
the calculus girl wasn't saying, you know.
Oh,
Here's
maybe
another question.
That's the thing. Is there are no patterns.
Yeah.
There's nothing to hold on to and be like, okay, I'm piecing it together. This is the fun of a movie like this.
No, especially because the end sequence, after all is said and done, we're now 3 months later and we're in Paris and the happening is happening again.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure, like, okay, this is different. This is where the twist is. No, it's just the same thing.
Same thing.
Nope,
Same thing, but
Same
French, so who
thing.
cares?
Sacre bleu!
By the way, let him go.
Can anyone, and I feel silly for asking this, but can anyone just tell me what the cough syrup scene was about?
I don't even remember that.
What cough syrup scene?
When he goes, I went to this pharmacy and bought cough syrup.
Oh.
Wait.
Yeah, I remember. He tells a story about after she tells him that she went on the pseudo date with Joey, he says to her, well, you know what? I should tell you that when I was at the pharmacy, there was a pretty pharmacist, and I pretended to have a cough so that I could, and I actually thought about buying cough syrup just so that but then she's like, are you kidding? And he's like,
Right.
yeah. And
I honestly
and then
thought-
she says, thanks.
They're
married.
Listen.
What?
I think what was happening. Well, first, when it was happening, I thought he was having one of those mental remixes. And I was like, uh-oh. He's going. But I think what was happening is he was trying to make her feel better, and so was lying.
Yeah.
But
But so
was
bad.
it weird.
Remember? Everything is so. Remember when he's talking to the plant?
Oh, that's the best scene in
The best scene in the
You
entire
got it? Let's go. Let's
They,
go.
they reveal the plant as if Jason Voorhees is in the room.
Or as if,
shit.
as if there's a zombie in the house. Oh no, there's a zombie in the house.
I mean, the way they shoot this plant in the room in the corner, it's like, oh fuck.
It's like,
Okay.
kill yourself.
And now this movie takes it one step further, which is like, it's very calculated how each plant attacks.
And
It's-
don't you absolutely feel like whoever, set deck, property man, whoever had to provide the tree, they must have gone through dozens of trees for M. Night Shyamalan to be like, no, that one's too nice. No, I need a meaner looking tree. No, I need the tree to look like it's a monster. No, that's, just like one after.
This is
What
a
about
good,
this one?
This is a good shaggy tree. Here we go.
Look at him. Look at his hands. Like, I don't know.
My name is Elliot Moore. I'm just going to talk in a very positive manner, giving off good vibes. We're just here to use the bathroom. And we're just gonna leave. I hope that's okay. Plastic. Talking to a plastic client.
There's no way you go home after this scene and go, that was a good day at work.
Yeah. This scene, again, in microcosm, is the movie. It seems real and full of living things, but in fact, it's plastic.
I mean, everybody they meet in this movie is insane, and they equally are insane. I mean,
the teenage boys that they're traveling with for a while, Jared and the other kid, when the kids are walking and the teenage boys are like, what's going on with you two about Mark and Zoe Deschanel? And the kid goes, you have to take responsibility for your actions, man. I was like, I literally was like, this movie was written when M. Night Shyamalan unquestionably was in marriage therapy. This entire movie is about saving a failing marriage. And that line, spoken from a child, is nothing but therapy speak about like, hey man, you need to take responsibility for your own actions. What? Jared, you're about to get shot in the head.
And Jared does get shot. This movie shoots a child, and oddly, that's like the most vicious. Yeah, two.
And we never see the shooters. We never see the villains. Because
I actually thought that was a cool choice.
Well, because we don't see bad guys.
That's M.
Really.
Night. That was his cameo.
Who?
Bam! But my favorite thing was that guy's like, hey, we're totally normal. Oh, black water, keep on shining. I'm like, I'm dead. You're out. I'm never opening that door. You are insane.
Never opening
You
that
are
door.
an insane person, and
To me, though, that sequence, those two houses with the kids, the teenage kids, and Betty Buckley?
Yes.
Yeah, and Betty Buckley. That whole sequence, to me, was the only interesting part of the movie.
Agreed.
Where I was like, oh, the horror of how people act under attack and in crisis, and that was like, if this was the whole movie about we have to get out of our cities
the
and
true
deal
danger is other people.
Exactly. That's an interesting movie.
Well, they kind of do that in that movie, like Leave the World Behind, that Julia Roberts movie that was on Netflix. Netflix is a joke festival. Look at the connections.
Yeah, they
Hulu.
do, but that movie...
Guys, watch Knuckles on Paramount Plus. I'm in it, no big
BritBox.
deal.
How did this get made? Brought to you by BritBox.
And Acorn.
Acorn TV.
The
Disney
sequence
Plus,
with
Hulu.
Betty Buckley, I thought was amazing. I was like, I love her. I love that she slapped Jess's hand.
She's absolutely insane.
You're telling
I
me
loved it.
From the moment of their arrival, I loved it too. From the moment of their arrival, all the way through dinner, all the way till after dinner, they have not once mentioned to her that they have seen hundreds of people die at this point, and that there is to them, somewhat global or somewhat, I guess not global, but Northeast specific something happening, and that she is unaware of, and they never talk about.
It could be global because they stopped getting news.
Yeah.
I mean, like the news in this movie is amazing. Like that Central Park attack happens, and within minutes, like, okay, the autopsy show. I'm like, you have hundreds of people. You're already doing autopsies this quick?
If those guys shot those kids, through the house, I'm lighting that house on fire and walking away. I'm like, fuck you. Gasoline, 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 gasoline. Here you go.
Here's my question.
Goodbye.
Here's my question. Why does anyone in this movie ever get out of a car?
Yeah. Great.
Stay in your cars.
Well, because maybe you have a hole in the roof.
Why?
One roof.
I mean, why would you get out of the car if you have plenty of hot dogs?
And
Travel hot dogs might be, like, that is written by, like, someone who doesn't live on the planet Earth. Well, we have our snacks, get the hot dogs and the mustard.
And make sure everybody, do you like hot dogs? Do you like hot dogs? Do you like hot dogs? Did you get the mustard? Do you like hot dogs? I was like, what's going on here?
Hot
This
dogs,
is like- this
not
is-
a food that travels well, and you have to cook. You have to do so much. It's like,
I would understand that if they were lines that a child was saying. I want hot dogs. Can we bring hot dogs? Let's bring hot dogs. Do we bring mustard? I love hot dogs.
Here's another question. Why are Mark Wahlberg's jeans so big?
I have a follow-up question. Why, when the somewhat of an apocalyptic situation is occurring, why did Zooey Deschanel only pack sundresses and light tops? Everybody's in like jeans and t-shirts like, we gotta get out of here. And she's like, I'm wearing a beautiful flouncy dress. Da-do, da-do, da-do. I was like, absolutely not. You can't be wearing like a slip dress at the apocalypse.
My God.
Absolutely not. No way.
she is wearing the outfits of a woman who goes out to dessert with a man.
It
That's
felt-
what she-
It felt to me, yes, it felt like
Gross.
this was tiramisu wear.
Ew. Because
You know,
by the
this
way,
resort wear.
you know the tiramisu was her idea. That's not like Joey at all.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
guess-
if it was a formal, it would have been a tiramisu.
I think that my big issue, and you know, you're right, like, you both are
That's
right.
the best joke of the night. At least my
might be,
favorite
sure.
joke of the night.
I think that you both are right about Betty Buckley. I think the thing that I get hung up on is everyone that they meet is legitimately insane.
Yeah.
Like from the hot dog guy to the guy that kills a kid with a shotgun. Like
Jeremy Strong, Johnny Legs. Johnny Legs just abandons his daughter.
Like he gives her up and he like, don't touch her hand.
When they see the landscapers hanging from the tree and the girl behind him freaks out, he's like, I'm going to give you a math riddle. I was like, how about turn the car around?
Turn the car around or just go,
Yeah.
just stop put something on that tiny rip.
His plan sucks. He's like, okay, I'm gonna go into the middle of Princeton and just be like, Susie! Susie! It's like you would argue that she probably got the fuck out of there too. But they just assume like, oh, everyone in Princeton's dead. Unless she got out. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
again, it's like
also like, I felt it was so upsetting. I'm like, this woman, whoever she is, his wife, like the last thing she wants, buddy, is for you to leave her child in the middle of like an apocalypse.
with a couple that
idiot.
doesn't get along.
The movie exists in two polar extremes. Like Mark Wahlberg and Zooey Deschanel are too blasé and too flat, and everybody else is way too crazy. And that you just can't make anything out of. When he is walking through the house and he's going, Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Jones, he walks into a room, a bedroom,
Oh my God,
where there
yes.
is very clearly a little doll on the bed, and he goes, Mrs. Jones? I was like, no, absolutely not. You should know that's a doll. Because I know
Jones'
that's a doll, and I've seen it from behind your shoulder. So you can see it much clearer.
Maybe-
It's a doll, you dumb fuck.
Maybe it is a doll. Maybe she is a doll. I mean, this is
Mrs. Jones?
I would believe
Mrs. Jones?
I would believe him looking at that cookie on the table and saying it more than the doll. Mrs. Jones?
And then
Mrs. Jones? I mean, this is
me and Mrs. Jones. Then, like mere moments later, when he is talking through the tube, he realizes that Zooey Deschanel and Jess are in the outhouse, but they can hear each other through the tube that connects them, which has been set up perfectly. Thank you, Betty Buckley, for setting that up. Anyway, he goes, what is it? He says, close the windows and the doors. This is 3/4 of the way through the movie when they know that the bad stuff comes that way. She goes, why?
Why?
Why? We're having fun. Why are you ruining this for me? I hate you. Why? You're dumped.
Why?
How about you're dumped? I would love it if he dumped her in the middle of the movie.
Check that mood ring. You dumped.
You're dumped. Is it purple? No, it just says you're dumped like it's a magic 8-ball.
Ask again later, but you'll still be dumped. This might be in a movie with millions of scenes that are just meme-worthy. This might be the best moment in cinema history right here.
I hear you whispering. Planning on stealing something?
No, ma'am, we're not.
Plan on murdering me in my sleep?
What? No.
That
Where did that come from? We never get an explanation why she's so nuts.
I mean, I just want to watch it. Like,
didn't you think this was also like a little bit of an invitation? Didn't you think she was also like,
comes,
you want to come murder me in my sleep?
stab me in my sleep, you bad boy. What? No.
Have the trees not told you that I'm absolutely great at blowjobs?
Sorry, June.
Plan on murdering me in my sleep?
What? No.
What?
He
No.
says it. I think what's so funny about it is he says it with like no gravitas. It's like,
No.
Did you eat my Oreo? What? No. She just said, you're going to murder me. He's like, what? No.
But for real, she doesn't even know what she's acting like. She knows there's a zombie apocalypse and that people might be untrustworthy. She's acting like that, but these are just strangers. She knows nothing. So why? We never understand. People's motivations are never.
Well, she's just a crazy lady who lives in a house.
So everybody's a crazy person who lives in a house then.
Maybe
Well,
she's a ghost. Oh,
No, she's,
by the way,
she's like an
wish she was a ghost.
isolationist. Like she's a crazy person, I think, because she's alone. I think that's what we're supposed to take away.
Okay.
That she's had no contact with the world.
So
she
she's
should be the
foreshadowing
safest person.
Mark Wahlberg if he gets divorced.
Okay.
So you're saying that's why this movie is so pro them getting back together,
Yes.
because to be alone is to kind of lose it like this.
Yeah.
Well,
like
I
Mrs.
was-
Jones.
Listen, the reason why I ran out in the beginning of the show is because you guys were talking about that end moment where he walks out and she walks out, and the virus is still on. And Paul, when we were watching this movie together, I was so upset that he wanted to walk out. They were safe where they were. And you said, I'd do the same exact thing. That's what you said.
I'm romantic.
That's what you said. No, you said it. You said, I do the same exact thing. And I said, why? Nobody wants this. Why would you do that?
Well, now we also argued about another scene because we saw the scene where the guy was shooting people in the field, and Zoe Deschanel's like, help them. I was like, no, run away. The man has a gun. And you're like, no, run towards the bullets. I'm like, no.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you
get
got to
away.
run away.
Also,
You said if I heard people in trouble with a gun, I wouldn't run toward them. And I did say, well, not in this situation where there's, the wind. In general, if it weren't for the wind, I think I would try to help.
Once you realize it's from the trees, it's from the plants, it's from the whatever, because everybody is frantically driving all over the place. They're going everywhere.
Willy-nilly.
There's only one answer. Get on a boat, get in the middle of the ocean.
I know. Why does
Period.
everyone take to the sea?
What
to
about
the water.
algae?
Get to the water.
What about algae?
I don't think that's part of it.
The problem is, Jason, because I thought about that too, but the wind can get out there.
You're right. Okay.
The wind can get everywhere. I remember I was in Japan with my dad, and my dad said,
Was the wind there?
this
In
is interesting.
Japan?
I'll be
too.
honest. These Santa Anas have been kicking up the last few nights, and I'm like, what the
Oh,
fuck?
my allergies. Have
I
been-
don't feel safe in my
terrible.
own house by my own hand.
And my dad made a comment. My dad lives in New York. My dad made a comment. He's like, those fires in LA have been really wreaking havoc in New York. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, it's not. The fires in LA are making its way to New York. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to Google that. And he was right. The fires in LA.
That's the wind for you. That's the power of the wind.
Yeah, the wind is pretty fucking powerful.
Please don't underestimate the wind.
I'm so sorry. Are you now on board for the wind as a villain?
I'm on board that the wind is the best carrier of the plant's evil deeds.
You know what was totally
It's the worm tongue to the Sauron.
You know what I couldn't get on board for at all? And I kept being like, what is this telling me? Every chyron that appears on the bottom of the screen telling me where they are and what time in the morning it is. And I'm like, the fuck is this for? Am I supposed to be keeping track of something?
Am I drawing a map? 3 blocks north of Central Park. I have
gotta
2
go to that
pennies.
car and see if
They're
there's a
doubling
map.
the pennies.
Maps are the most important thing in this movie.
Yes. And that's also weird, too. Like, to your point, Paul, we never see, they are reporting on the news that they know all this information about what's happened to people and have done these autopsies, but we never see, like, the cleanup crew in hazmat suits or anything get out there. Like, we're
still day one.
Only in destruction.
We also keep going back and forth. Like, they'll be in one location and all of the newscasts will drop out. The power will go, all this stuff. And then they'll go to another house and there's a newscast on.
Wait, I have a question that I don't think we've really addressed. Why does this just happen in the Northeast?
I think it's because that's where M. Night Shyamalan is from.
Oh,
He's from Philly.
I thought that, no, this is actually very scientifically true. The plants in the Northeast have a much bigger attitude than other plants. They're just like a little bit over it.
Well,
so
I think
and the
part
French
of it
are notoriously rude.
Yeah.
So are their plants.
I think if the plants were to be like, let's fuck shit up, it would be in Philly.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Let me show you this moment. See what you guys think. Oh my God, I'm watching somebody get eaten alive by a tiger. Hey, everyone, gather around. Watch this. Watch this torture porn I have. Get the kids in close.
So many people are watching it.
So many people are watching
disturbing.
it, especially when we've been shown that Zooey Deschanel is using a flip phone. So, like, there's also smartphones with video. There's so much. I couldn't make heads and tails of it.
And again, guys jumping off of buildings, other people hanging each other from trees.
The guy letting lions eat him
But he was like
as funny as the lawn.
Like, he pets the lion like he's drugged. Well, I'm like, the whole thing is like, it takes away that one part of your brain that like lets you hurt yourself. And I'm like, why don't you fucking attack the lion and be like, hey, you fucking jerk. Like, go out and fight in the lion. Not just be like, lion,
like,
lion.
Hey, you want some of this? You hungry? You want some of this? Hey.
To the point where when I was watching that, I was like, oh, the lions aren't going to see him as any sort of a threat.
Yeah. So are we to assume, I guess because the dogs no animals are affected by this?
Thank God.
No, because they don't have lungs. What are the rules?
It was so the workers jumping off in the beginning. The workers jumping off of the skyscraper, the construction site, very effective at setting this up as like, oh, that's brutal. This is crazy.
I was also impressed that construction site had an on-site medic.
Yes.
They did not call 911.
I'm a construction medic.
My
job.
My favorite thing about that construction crew is they tell a joke that is such a schoolyard joke about a big dick. And the guy's like, like hitting him, hey. It's like, again.
That felt like a cold open of Law and Order.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And it said, "Oh, welcome to whatever. Have a nice day." But hey, wait a minute. Bum bum. And then Lenny Briscoe walks in and is like, "Hey, looks like this guy took a dive from a height. He couldn't." He's just got crackling one-liners one after another.
And then Ice-T would come in and be like this, "It's the trees." And then they sue the trees.
And then
Your Honor, this maple tree.
Sam Waterston is like, "I'm making a deal with the trees." You can't.
Let's go to the crowd. Let's see what the crowd has to say. And remember, if it's a good question, you'll walk away with a coupon of $18 value of Tillamook cheese.
I don't think we should be doing this.
Wow. But honestly, up to an $18 value,
Up
Paul,
to 18 bucks.
This is
Wait,
nice.
so if somebody just
I got
gives
like
us
100
stuff, do we just promote it?
I got
but
like
this is a
200.
nice
No, they are
cheese.
advertisers on the show. They are advertisers on the show.
Oh, they
And
are? So
wanted
should I
us-
not
Nice
be saying
cheese.
this?
Well, they'll cut that out. We'll cut it.
You'll
We'll
cut out my criticism? I don't think we
It's
should.
not a criticism of the product, though. The product stands.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's a good product. Ice cream, cheese, shredded cheese, whatever you want. Okay. Hi. What's your name?
Dan.
Dan. And what is your question?
Based on something I read where M. Night said he fucked this movie up, not in those words, but like he admits he made a mistake. Did he fuck up a fun B movie or did he fuck up a serious horror movie? Because both suck.
He wasn't specific about what the mistake. Does he think he made a specific mistake or he just missed the
Well,
mark?
he did the Tommy Wiseau thing, which is reviews started to come in and they were bad. He goes, well, everyone's getting, we made a silly B movie. And it's clearly not that, but he did like Tommy Wiseau was like, it was always intended to be a comedy, The Room. The Room was conceived as a comedy.
Where is this in his filmography?
This is in a very tricky spot. He has had a bunch of failures.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, so Lady in the Water is the one
Before or
preceding
after this?
Before this.
Oh, okay.
A movie that June and I drove out of the movie theater. We were in a drive-in and we drove out.
I was going to say, I don't know that I would call that a theater. When you say drove out of the movie theater.
And he wrote this script.
You can't drive out with the same sort of attitude that you can walk out with, but we tried.
He had written this script after Lady in the Water. He wrote a script called The Green Effect. And every studio passed on it. And they hated it. And then he rewrote it based on the notes that the studio gave him and then was able to sell it as The Happening to 20th Century Fox.
Oh, so this is both a bad script and then studio noted into this? Shock of all shocks, it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's an odd choice. All right, yes, your name and your question.
Hi, my name's Marissa. My question is, who in the midst of a presumed terrorist attack approved and printed Philadelphia and thought it was a good idea?
Wait, where was
my
that?
gosh.
Where was that?
That was, I can't remember what newspaper it was, but they cut to a newspaper and it says Philadelphia !
That's why we need printed media.
I
you know?
honestly, I would believe it if you said to me that is an actual copy of an actual Philadelphia newspaper that was not a prop and had nothing to do with the movie.
Yes, your name and your question.
Hi, I'm Jen, and I had a potential theory that is maybe giving the movie too much credit.
Oh, I love it.
This
seems Tillamook worthy.
What is going
And
on
now
with
it's time for
Tillamook?
our Tillamook worthy question.
Now for our Tillamook question of the night. Don't make it cheesy.
Is everybody getting their coupons, Paul?
Some people are, depending on the
Stop
question.
holding it up. This
Okay.
whole show has run till amok. All right.
All right.
It's better than tiramisu, Susan. Although, both of them home runs. I'm really proud of both.
Okay, so you have a theory.
Well, it's more of a sub-theory, but someone had mentioned the Chekhov's nuclear power plant.
It was me!
Oh, sorry.
What do you mean someone mentioned?
Someone on this show.
It
There's
was
only
maybe
3 of us.
10 minutes ago. Someone, are you paying attention? Someone
It was
mentioned.
someone over the weekend in this conference.
I've
that we've
heard
been
tell
to.
of Chekhov's nuclear power plant. You know what? Go to hell.
No, we
Credit where credit is due. I said that.
Okay, yes.
So my theory or my thought was that the nuclear power plant, or this was occurring in that area because of accelerated plant mutations from nuclear power, and then that would explain France, who gets, I think, the vast majority of their energy from nuclear power. So I don't think it explains why this is happening generally,
Great.
but
I would love that.
mutations.
I would love it if there was some sort of, and if an actual scientist came in, not just the guy on the news at the end, and not Mark Wahlberg, high school science teacher. If a real scientist came in and was like, this is what happened, and it's happening again.
Well, you know what I
that
thought
was
about?
sharp, extra sharp.
If they were smart, no. If they were smart, it would have happened to the Swiss.
I do want to just call out that they established pretty early on in the film that they know it's an airborne pathogen, right? All this to say that when they cut to one of the newscasters, she's outside at the UN. And forget about the UN. I'm just more focused on the outside.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Deborah, you go out, do it from the field. So there's an airborne virus around New York City, and I'm out here with the people. It's the worst news job you could possibly ever get to do a remote.
She's
outside.
like, I can hear the calculus reporting live. I'm walking backwards.
It's like when they send weathermen out into like the hurricanes. Go out there, go get that pathogen. Let's see what happens. Okay, yes. What's your name and your question?
Hi, my name's Keenan, and my question is, now, assuming that Mark Wahlberg continues to become a teacher, or continues being a teacher, and gets tenure, COVID hits, what is he telling his students about COVID?
Well, what is he telling his students about COVID? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't even have, I mean...
Listen, this
Are
is
we
a
taking
teacher.
this seriously?
This is a teacher.
Why are we all like, huh? That's a good question. No, it's not.
No, this is
No,
a
it's
teacher.
not. It's a fictional universe.
This is a teacher who pulls out a student and tells him in the beginning of the class that he's got to start studying science because he's going to lose his looks as he gets older.
That kid's name is Jake, and if he did not look like the spitting image of Jake Ryan in 16 Candles, I was like, whoa, who's this hunk?
I also like that he is like, you're an attractive guy, but you're gonna be ugly. Like he compliments him and negs
He negs him, yeah.
He totally
I think
negs him.
hooking. I think they're hooking up.
What's your name and your question?
My name's Clint. I was actually going to talk about him negging his student, but one other fun fact, the voice of Joey was M. Night Shyamalan. And that
said
really
to
just
Paul,
felt
where
right.
was he? Where was he?
Because he's like a real Hitchcock for the modern age.
So that blows apart our theory that it is, well, Johnny Legs. Yeah. All right, there we go. Yes, and your question.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. My question is, so M. Night Shyamalan was credited with multiple hats, writer, director, and producer. So if you were tasked...
An actor.
Voice actor.
Joey.
So if you were tasked with fuck, marry, kill M. Night the writer, M. Night the director, and M. Night the producer, what would you do?
Well, I can jump in on this and say this. This is the weird thing about this movie. There are sequences in it that are really well directed.
I agree.
But the movie isn't good. So I would say you're going to marry that director because the director has a lot of potential. You're going to fuck Joey because clearly Joey fucks.
Oh, yeah.
So fuck
Does he?
Don't mind
Joey
if
goes
I-
out for tiramisu. I don't
And he
know what
fucks
Joey
after
fucks.
tiramisu.
Don't mind if I tiramisu.
And I think you have to kill the writer. And again, I don't want to bring up that, yes, I auditioned for Old and I didn't get it. And they brought me back 3 times. And the 3rd time, it was just, so-and-so, your paper's here. That was it. And I couldn't even get that.
Oh, wow.
I've talked about it. All right, well, clearly we have opinions about this movie, but there are other people out there with different opinions. It is now time for Second Opinions.
Hi, I'm Daniel. This movie sitting in my shopping cart. Some people hate it, but it's closest to my heart. Got killer pushes and crazy grandmas. Shyamalan mixes a rom-com with drama. 5 stars, mowers on heads. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. Yeah, that guy's dead. Woo! Mark Wahlberg pretends to have brains, but he talks to plastic plants. It's totally insane. Why is he so worried about the bees? Instead, he should be more worried about the fucking trees. 5 stars, it's what I gave. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. Haters behave.
I love it. Great job. Excellent job. Second opinions from Amazon. Average rating of this film, 4 out of 5 stars.
Nope.
5,800 reviews.
I feel like this is universally regarded as poor.
I agree.
So 4 out of 5 is wild.
64% are 5-star reviews. 8% are 1-star reviews. Retired Rosie writes, I watched The Happening years ago and found it thought-provoking. Kind of like The Planet Strikes Back. My 11-year-old grandson was tearing leaves off a tree, and I told him about the movie. We rented it, and we watched it together. He liked it. Time will tell if it's one he'll remember as I did. ...
Oh, wow. That ellipsis at the end makes me feel like there's more to come.
This is a confession.
Hoppied writes, love the director. Can't spell his name, but he's my favorite writer and director and producer and sometimes actor. I like this movie. 5 stars. I love horror movies. And this one was one that concerned me. From Lakeitra B, she writes, this movie brightens my day. I usually watch it online for free once a week. But my laptop isn't working.
I'm so sorry. Is this movie available for free? Because I rented it for $3.99.
I bought it.
Discounted from $4.99.
I usually watch it online for free once a week, but my laptop isn't working, so I bought it from here, and the picture was a lot better. The title of the review, The Picture is a Lot Better. 5 stars. And this one is weird. All this COVID-19 craziness reminded me of this movie, so I thought it'd be fun for a rewatch. Thumbs up emoji. 5 stars.
You know what that just reminds me of, because it's COVID and masks and all that, is when they cut to the 2 old women knitting in World War II gas masks. I was like, how come more people just don't have gas masks? How come Jeremy Strong and his whole, how come the military wasn't given gas masks?
Good question. He was too concerned about carrying that gun.
Don't give me soft applause for that. I'm not looking for your tender applause. You fucking weirdos.
2 little
Good job,
facts.
Jason. Good job. Don't pity me.
2 little facts here that I thought were interesting was that the DVD contains a deleted scene of a piano recital that becomes so tragic that it almost gave the movie an NC-17 rating.
Please tell me, do we have that?
I wish. Sorry.
Somebody please find and post that online.
I'm sure it's online. We can find it. This movie, the budget was...
Somebody find it right now.
Budget was $60 million. Opening weekend with $30 million. Domestic gross $64. Worldwide gross $163 million. Came out in 2008. The big year, Dark Knight, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Kung Fu Panda. This movie came in 45 of the top 200 movies, and it beat The Hottie and the Naughty, The Love Guru, Punisher, Warzone, and 88 Minutes. So there you go.
It should have beaten none of those, which is shocking because one of those was The Hottie and the Naughty.
I like the tagline of this movie. We sensed it. We've seen the signs. Now it's happening.
Yeah, good.
In the village. But don't tell the lady in the water.
Got it.
Do you have the clip of the guy letting himself get run over by the lawnmower?
Oh, I don't. I don't have that one.
Just, that really made me laugh. It was so funny. Just how blasé he was, like, I'm going to lie down in front of this industrial lawnmower until it chops me to bits.
It was like daring the movie to show it. All right. Would you recommend this movie? Jason, June, what do you got?
Yes. It is absolutely worth. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would in the context of like watch it for the podcast.
yes.
And also
Okay.
it is something to see. It's a nice 90 minutes.
I
It's
said it
nice
earlier.
90
I was
minutes.
shocked
And
when it
it's
was done.
And also, I mean, I watched this in the theater and I saw it again today, but
Who did you see it with? Did you have dessert after?
I don't remember, but I remember thinking this watching it in the theater that it was the non-twist was so shocking and thinking, oh, it can't be the trees, it can't be the wind, it just can't be, and then it was. And they reveal that it's the trees and the wind so early on, and to sustain that for the whole movie, it is something to see.
Yeah.
It is something to see.
I don't disagree. And in the context that you're saying, I agree. For the show, absolutely watch it because it's fucked up. I'm shocked we've never done it before. Wait, is this the third M. Night Shyamalan movie we've done? Or
Might be.
Fourth? So Last Airbender, Old, and this for sure are three that we've done. This to me falls closer to Last Airbender than Old in the sense that I enjoyed Old more. This felt to me like confounding on almost every level. And I mean it when I say when the movie ended, I was like, oh, no. I think we're just starting Act 3 where we're going to find out what this whole thing was about. And instead, no, it's like he sends Jess off to his first day of school. Zooey Deschanel is waiting for the results of her pregnancy test. And then when she's like, yes, I'm pregnant, they have this shot where it's, they do a lot of scenes where anything that would have required a heavy emotional component, also Mark Wahlberg and Jess having their moment of tenderness off to the side, it's shot way far away. Like, they're over, like, she's like waiting for him and she's like 100 feet away from him. He walks to her, camera stays put, and then she's like... And that is that's supposed to be like the catharsis of the movie. Like, they did it. They do not talk to each other at the end of the movie, so that we can hear. It's private,
but
no, they should be dead.
That's a sign of a good director. After you've seen a couple of these scenes, you're like, you know what? Maybe less is more. Keep them off camera as much as you can. No, this might be my favorite M. Night movie simply because there is such an earnestness to it, and it's so confounding on so many levels, and every character is full of bad choices, and there's no one to root for, and there's nothing to be excited about, and there's no resolution, and simply we're just like, it's
happening to us.
Right.
But that's the
happening
thing is, even the happening. What? The happening? That makes no sense.
It's like, it's like you went over to your neighbor's house to borrow something, and then all of a sudden they've taken you up into the attic, and you don't know why you're there. And
Wait,
you
is
didn't
this
leave.
from your book?
Maybe. No, God damn it. What? No. That is forever the best moment of all movies ever, in my mind.
Everybody should know quotes from this movie. Like, this is... You're right in the sense this absolutely should be baked into the cultural lexicon of absurd things the way that like Showgirls is.
Yes.
Look, I gotta say this movie is total cheddar for me. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Thank you so much.
Eat shit, LA.
That's a wrap on The Happening. Thanks, as always, to the wonderful staff at Largo and our recording engineer, Rich Garcia. If you want to show your love of this episode to the world, what better way than to buy a commemorative t-shirt, a shirt that we made that riffs on the cover of Shel Silverstein's The Giving Tree, with a tiramisu falling from the tree and M. Night Shyamalan written as the book's author. I actually think this design is pretty flawless. You can get that on a shirt, a mug, an iPhone case, whatever you want. There's tons of great merch. There's tons of amazing designs. And remember, whenever you buy something at tpublic.com, the money also goes to the artist. So tpublic.com/stores/HDTGM. Now, next week on the show, we're going to be going over corrections and omissions for this episode, but I'm sure you won't have any. But if you do, leave me a voicemail at 619-PAUL-ASK or write a comment on our Discord at discord.gg/HDTGM. And guess what? June will be on next week's episode. That's right, a little deep dive. How did this get made? Crossover. You don't want to miss that one. And remember, Joyful Recollections of Trauma is available wherever you get your books. And if you're going out of town, it's a great audiobook with tons of How Did This Get Made clips inside. The reaction to the book has been amazing. If you bought the book, I thank you so much, and just remind you to please tell people about it and rate and review it wherever you bought it, because that actually really helps and has been spreading the word. Take a picture, post a picture, whatever you want to do. I appreciate you all. And remember, you can find us anywhere you want online at HDTGM. And if you listen on Apple Podcasts, please rate and review us no matter what podcast app you use. Just rate and review, like I just told you about my book. Now, a big thank you to our producers, Scott Sani and Molly Reynolds, and our movie picking producer, Avril Halley, and our associate producer, Jess Cisneros, as well as our engineer, Casey Holford. We'll see you next week on Last Looks. Bye for now.